My name MeeBeeGeeBee. That's not my real name. This is my PlayStation name. Welcome to ARK Survival Evolved. This is one of my favourite games. I've been playing it for a few years, and I just wanted to do a quick beginner's guide for anyone who's starting ARK fresh and have no idea what to do. Because the problem with ARK is there's no tutorial guide or to help you start going on, so you might not have a clue what to do, and you would have to use a YouTube video like this to even just get started and get into it. So I'm just going to try and help and explain the very basics before we evolve the character into the map. So I'll just give a little explain where we are. We are on the Ragnarok map, which is one of my favourite ones, and it's quite a good one to start off and evolve as it gets tougher throughout the map. So I will just switch to first person, which I prefer to play, as you can see a bit more of what you're doing. Right, this big thing here is an obelisk. It's basically used for when you're playing online to transfer between servers and other maps, to transfer dinos, items, resources to other maps, or bring those to here. So it's something you don't really need to know right now when you're just starting off. So we'll leave that for the time being. I chose on PlayStation. If you press the touchpad, you bring up a little map. Now, as you can see, a lot of the map is covered up because you haven't explored it, or I haven't explored it yet. But trust me, it's one of the biggest maps on ARK. It's got a lot of varied environments like snow, desert, hotter regions, grasslands, forests, jungles, a big it's got an ocean area around the side of it, so it's an island style map. So here we're just in the jungles area I was spawned in. It's relatively quite safe here, so it's a good place to start a little base camp. And so I'm going to just show you how to do that, hopefully not too long. And I have to say, the good thing about ARK, there's not one right way to play it. You can play how you want, different ways, and you can basically express yourself however you want playing it. So I'm currently playing on a single player, so it's just me on this map, just because it's easier to build as way on. If you went online, there will be a heavily populated map, so building might be constrained depending on where you spawn in. So we're just doing on single player just for this basic guide. So obviously the camera is just the left stick, looking down to move left stick, that's basic. If you look on the screen in bottom right corner, you have some little icons. Um, you've got health, water, um, food, stamina gauge. So those are just a quick thing to keep an eye on as you play the game, in case your water or food gets too low. You need to replenish those. But if you press circle on the PlayStation controller, you can go into your inventory and you can see your personal stats for your character. So you can see I'm quite healthy. I'm not in any particular danger at the moment. My water's starting to go down because it's relatively quite warm, but it's not hot. So just to replenish the water, all you have to do is just swim underwater and find somewhere deep enough. So swim now. There you go, submerged. So now my water has been filled up. But as you can see, my oxygen is now decreasing because I'm underwater, obviously. So we'll just get back on land. Okay. Right. If you go to learn, I know you need to learn. Every time you level up, you can increase your stats to make your character a bit more powerful. So I'm just gonna add this rank to weight so I can carry a bit more stuff. And these are engrams where you can unlock and purchase them with engram points to learn new skills, new equipment, to help you evolve and progress through the game. So you start off with level 1 with a stone pick and a torch. Stone pick is for gathering resources on stone and trees. You get certain types of resources like stone and flint, sometimes metal from rocks, but you get more flint using a pick, whereas if you use a stone hatchet you get more stone than flint. So every tool has its own unique attributes. So I'm just going to unlock these basic ones. A spear, very basic weapon, good for you for killing small creatures. A bit useless at very large dinos or creatures. A campfire to keep you warm and to cook on raw meat. And to cook meat, if you eat raw meat, it will damage you health wise, so you need to cook it. Cloth. This is the first basic set of clothing or armor, and they just keep you a little bit warmer or protect you a little bit from the elements. A little bit of armor if we're being attacked, but not much, so don't rely on it throughout the game. But you do need to unlock them to learn future better equipment further on. And a water skin is basically a flask for keeping water, so you don't have to keep running into the ocean to replenish your water. You can just fill it up by standing in the water and wandering around, but it does leak quite quickly, so you do have to keep an eye on that. So basically, you have all these trees and rocks and things. So when you first start off, all you have to do is just punch them, and you get resources. So pressing the R2, people punching them, and you get a bit of thatch and a bit of wood. So if you go into your inventory, you can see it there. Now, if you press R1, go into crafting, and you'll see folders, or if you don't want the folder view, you can see what you've learned. So basically we want to do the first two couple of things. A torch to keep us warm, it can be a weapon to set little creatures on fire, or a stone pick just to harvest some stone and wood and things a bit quicker than just punching them. So as you can see, we need 1 stone, 10 thatch and 1 wood to make a pick, and we need flint, stone and wood for a torch. Now, to get stone is sometimes quite easy here because all they are on the floor. So you just press triangle to pick one up. As with some wood there, you can just do that. So now we can make a stone pick. So you just press R2 to make one. Go back into your inventory by pressing L1 or moving to it sometimes, and it's there in your inventory. Now, good thing about ARK, at the bottom you got little boxes. These we call the hot bar, or I call them the hot bar anyway. It's a quick way of getting to tools, food, where we need most of the time without keep going into inventory and stretching them. So you do is click on the one you want and choose a slot. So I always put it in circle, and to get it in circle you have to press L1, hold L1 and press circle, and there's the pick. So what you can do now with these is the trees. You can get a bit more thatch and wood, and you can now hit rocks. So if you see the bottom right corner, you see a little lightning bolt flashing. That's your stamina gauge, and that will go down every time you do a physical activity. So you have to keep an eye on that or you'll get tired, and if you want to increase that, then you have to do that in your stats. Right. So now we have enough flint, we can do a torch and a hatchet. Hatchet gets you more wood from trees and more stone from rocks. So we'll do one of them. It's the basic one. You can get metal versions on them later on, which are a bit more durable. And we will do a torch, a hand torch, for when it gets dark. And on ARK it gets very, very dark. So these are essential things you need. So I will stick that in the square box. and this is in cross, apparently. It's meant to be called, but everyone says X. Okay. Now, you can put anything in the hot boxes at the bottom, in the bottom. This is just the way I do it. Mine's not the right way, it's not the wrong way. You can do it exactly however you want, whatever suits you. It's just what I'm used to. So that's the hatch, and that's the torch. So what we want to do is do a little base camp here, because it's close to water. There's not much dangerous wildlife around here, so it's pretty neutral. And as you can see in front of me, there's a little entranceway that leads into a bit more of the inner map, and that's where it gets a little bit more tricky, a bit more predatory wildlife is there, like raptors or xenosaurs, or I call them furzies, which have got big claws as soon as they see you, and a pain in my ass when I've been playing this game. So you want to try and get as much as you can done here where it's relatively safe, and prepare yourself for going exploring into the jungle. So here, the only danger here in this part of this map on the beach are dinosaurs, which, if you ever saw the original Jurassic Park, is the little dino that spits venom or poison at the little chubby man that's trying to get to the boat in Jurassic Park. That's what it look like, and that's what they do. They chase you, they'll spit poison at you, so the screen goes green, so you can't really see, but it's still quite easy to kill if you got a spear. That's why it's quite important just to have a basic weapon here, or you can use your sword and just whack them. Right, so what we're going to do, we're just going to do a little bit of a beach shack here using thatch materials. So going into crafting, as you can see, we've got no building engrams learned. That's a pterodon, who just freaked me out a little bit then. They're relatively harmless. They're good for taming and riding, so you can explore more of the map from the air. So we'll do that later on, because you'll need a lot more equipment like arrows, a crossbow, a bow, a bowler to knock them down onto the floor so they can't escape, and you'll need knockout berries to knock them out, keep them asleep whilst you tame them. So it all gets a little bit more complicated, so we'll just leave that for now. So what we need to do is learn how to do a thatch building. Thatch building is a very basic building. You can do thatch, wood, stone, metal, and eventually tech. And they all have varying degrees of durability, strength, and how long they last. So basically, thatch is the weakest. Wood is a bit stronger. Stone is pretty much what everyone uses, because even the hardest of most dinos can't break stone. that easily. They can do, but it takes them a while. So the stone ones are what everyone pretty much uses, and that's the main goal, building wise. Metal and tech are more advanced materials, so it's hard to get them. But that's the next step in the evolution, but that's quite a way off. So we basically just need to press circle. Crafting is not in there, so all you have to do is press the options button to go into the engram menu. So here are the list of engrams as we saw earlier. These are what we've got so far of leveling up. If you scroll down using the right stick, I apologize, you can see the future ones we can learn, and there's plenty to learn. So I'll go all the way down to 100, and these obviously the matter things you can learn, but also throughout the map you'll see little lights in the sky, and these are drop boxes or loot boxes, and if you can get them, you sometimes get loot where you don't have to learn the engrams all the time. You can just get them and just repair them if they break and stuff, so it's just how you want to do it. So we will just circle and then options, and we're going to learn the facts. The thatch foundation is the base, the floor item. We'll do a door, a sleeping bag, a ceiling, a wall, and a door. Now, if you're playing on single player, it's not that important about a sleeping bag or a bed. These are used for when you die, you can just respawn back in your house. You don't have to respawn somewhere and go all the way back to where you were building. Online, these are like a necessity. It's one of the first things you really need to do. Otherwise, you can get stuck somewhere, and if other people are building around you, you may not be able to get back so easily. So it's one of the first priorities you need to really do. So I will just level up, get some little weight on, and what I'm going to do is just do a 3x3 hut, because from experience that's just all you really need for a base camp. It doesn't have to be more than 2 blocks up, and when I say blocks I'll show you when I build it. At the start it only needs to be 1 block high, and so that's what I'm going to do, 1 block high. You can always extend it later on, as with any build. So at the moment we're just going to do a basic 3x1, a 3x3 by 1. So it's 3 blocks across, 3 blocks deep, and 1 block high. So what we need to thatch is a thatch foundation. Obviously is thatch. We need wood and we need fibre. Thatch is the main resource we need, and then it's wood and fibre. So we get a bit of wood, and to get thatch you need a pick. Need a bit more wood with the a bit more thatch with the pick. Right. Now, to get fibre, all you have to do is pick up from plants. So just triangle to harvest these. Anything on the floor, little plants. So sometimes you get berries which you can use for food. So you can pick up thatch. There's sometimes things on the floor you can just pick up and use. Just run around. Right. By going to inventory now, you can see there's some wood. There's some berries which you can use for food. And as we're starting off, most people use cooked meat for subsistence because it's quite light. They don't take up much room. So I'm just going to put these in the first 4 slots on my hotbar. Ooh. Now the red ones, purple, blue and yellow ones are safe to eat. The white and black ones kind of have side effects. Narco berries will knock you out. These are used to taming dinosaurs. They are basically what do you call them? Sleeping pills kind of thing. Those kind of things. And the white ones are stimberry, which are a stimulant. They keep you awake, but they make you lose water very, very quickly. So at the moment we don't need these, so I'll just drop these by pressing L2. Because you don't want to accidentally eat those at the moment. So they're on the floor. So leave them. So we've got wood. Just unlock that. This is skin with a torch. I don't bother. We've got a lot of thatch. Bit of stone we don't really need right now. Wild flowers, which are used for cooking later on. So we don't really need those right now. But the flint we'll just keep because we will need to repair our basic tools. As you can see in the hotbar at the bottom, the little blue line is decreasing. So every time you use it, the durability goes and they break. So we'll keep the flint in there, and obviously the fibre we need. So we go into the crafting menu, pressing R1, and we can see more things have been highlighted of what we can make. Now, for me, I like a bit more organisation in my inventory, so I go to a folder view, like on a computer, and it just organises things a bit more ordered. I struggle with words, me. It takes a bit more time when you go into the inventory, but for me, I find it's a lot more easier than just scrolling down through all the engrams. So you go into structures. So here you got beds, which is a sleeping bag, cooking, campfire, and thatch. And here you can find the thatch, building, material, structure, things. So basically, at first you want a foundation. Can't do anything else unless you have a foundation that's been built. We'll take that from the inventory and stick it on the very right hand corner of the hotbar. I keep these last two free for whatever jobs I'm doing. So you press L1 and right on the stick and you'll see a little patch foundation. Now when it says it's red, it means it can't place it down. So I'm pressing R2 trying to put it down and it won't do it. This is because there's probably trees in the way, or as I know, around here there is a loot drop here that comes down occasionally and you can't build in them or around them, so you have to find a little bit of a space somewhere else. So we'll try about here. We'll just knock these out of the way. Right, so this little bit here is big enough for a 3x3x1. So basically, you have to watch for the gradients on the land. If you put one here, and then try to put one here, the second one will be too far off the ground to snap. So you have to judge where 3 of them would go. So right here, probably one on the left would not fit. There's a way to fix it, to modify it. So we'll just do it a bit more flat here and press double tap R2, put it down. If you're not happy, you can always pick it up again by holding triangle and left stick and let go of triangle. But we're happy with that one there. We'll pick another one just by holding L1 and right on the D-pad. Okay, it's in the hotbar, and put another one down. Now we're going to put another one here where this tree is. So to get rid of this tree, get these plants. Make another one. And there we go. So we're just going to do a little 3x3, so we need 3 more along here, 3 along here. But it doesn't matter if you don't want to do a 3x3, you can do 2x2, you can even do a 1x1. But we're going to put some little things to help us move along. Some crafting equipment, some storage boxes and a bed. So that's why I'm doing a 3x3 basic box, so we can get things in. So I need 6 more foundations. So as you can see, I'm starting to get my movement's getting a little bit slower, and it's because I'm getting encumbered with weight. So as you can see, wood takes up a lot of weight, so the weight is 50, so that's quite high compared to thatch, which is lighter. So you have to judge what you can and can't carry. That's why I tend to put at first a lot on weight when I'm building. So now I can move a little bit easier. So we need some fibre. So at first it can be a bit pedantic, doing fine farming, things like this. So it's a nice little way to get you introduced into it. Because it'll get a lot more easier and interesting when you can do more, especially with dinos. You can tame certain dinos that can farm resources faster and in greater amounts. Right, so we're now to fibre, I think. Get some more fibre. Now, if you're thinking there's not many dinos around here, it's because I kind of erased all the low level ones using an admin command earlier. So they're starting to respawn. So we saw the pterodon before. So once we move a little bit more away from this area, then they'll start to respawn. Right, so just need 3 more. Get some thatch. Nope, we need fibre. Okay. So as you see, I'm getting slow again, so I'm getting encumbered with weight. As you can see on the right hand corner, the little box icon, second from the top. So that's getting filled up now, so I'm getting heavier. So we can empty things you don't need. Add a bit more weight. See, they're starting to spawn in now. So that's a power saw. Yeah, quite good for harvesting berries and just basically berries. So they're quite a good basic tame to do, quite quick to do. So might do one of them. We'll do these. Right, you can see daylight starting to go a little bit. Starting to get into evening time. You press circle. In this section here you can see what day you're on, the time of day, the temperature, the wind, speed, etc. So you can see it now coming up to 9 PM. It's going to get dark very, very quickly. And unless you have raised the gamma correction on the options, it's going to get very, very dark. You won't be able to see much. So I'd recommend playing from the start in normal conditions, just so you can get used to playing in the dark. So now we have the floor. So what we need to do now is a door frame, a door, and let's count how many walls we need. So we'll just do one height. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 walls, because the door will go here. So we'll go. Oh. Oh. Right, so we need some more resources for a door frame, a door, and walls. So we need a lot more fibre. So this is why I choose this little bit of the map, because it's safe and there's plenty of basic resources around. Right, and because it's now starting to go dark, the temperature will go down quite quickly. So I will have to do a campfire to keep me warm during the night, or use my torch. My campfire is a bit more powerful than a torch, a hand torch. So you just have to kind of remember where you've been in the dark, to where your build was. That's going dark now. So here we are. Put that away, and you can see how dark it can go. You can't really see much. But in a jungle you won't see anything because of the tree canopy. But there is a way to get around that if you want to. So if you press options and go into options, if you go down to gamma correction and move the slider to the very top, the screen goes a little bit brighter. Save it, and you can relatively see quite clearly, a lot better at night. I think this is what most ARK players do now. So it's a lot easier to play at night. So I'll keep it on this so we can see what we're doing and go a bit quicker. Otherwise you'd spend a few hours, 10-20 minutes just doing nothing at night, waiting for daylight. Oh, yeah, that's a parasaur over there. It looked like a dilo, so I'll just keep an eye on that. Right, so we need some fibre. You can see I'm getting a little bit breathless. It's because I'm carrying a lot of weight, my water's starting to go down, and I'm losing a bit of food. So I'm just going to eat some berries by pressing left on the D-pad. And that will start to slowly go up. Just need to find a little bit of water I can get under, like that. So that's filled up my water. But yeah, I need to get a lot more fibre before I do anything else. So obviously you don't get fibre from trees by pressing triangle, so you need a tool on trees. These little plant bushes tend to respawn quite quickly after you've harvested them. Trees respawn a bit slowly compared to these, as do rocks and other equipment and other resources. And when you build near resources, the resources won't respawn close to structures. So when you are choosing a base to put down a building, you don't want to put it right on top of a field of metal metal rocks or really things that you really want to keep. So you have to build well away from them, otherwise they won't spawn again. I'm getting heavy now, so I'll just melt a frame, a door, and 11 walls. So as you can see, I got really slow now because I'm crafting and I'm heavy. So when it's all done, I should be able to walk a bit more freer. So when you do your walls, you want to make sure that this power saw doesn't get trapped in your house, obviously. So, because you would have to kill him to get him out, or just destroy a wall, which is pointless. So just wait for him to wander off. We'll put these walls and frames in here. So here, the door will go. So it's green, put it down. It's green. So I'll just do those along. Okay, that's basically one level of walls. And we'll put the door down so nothing can get in. But obviously now we need ceilings, a roof. So these are quite expensive. So we need 9 of these. That's why I'm only doing 1 block high. Ooh. So stick that in the hotbar, and then you just put it in. So when it's all closed off a bit, it keeps a bit more insulation inside. So when it's, so as you can see, I'm getting cold at night. It will reduce the cold when it's all closed off. You can put a campfire in there to keep warm and cook in relative safety. I'll take some more fibre. So we need a lot more faction, I think. was able to do 8 then. That's all we need. In. So again, we're just selecting them, but holding L1 in this case, and pressing right on the D-pad. Get that down. So it selects it. Make sure it's green. Make sure it's on the one you want. Sometimes it can snap to another one and replace it, which is quite annoying. You just want to make sure it's definitely where you want it to be. Press R2 and it'll put it down. And that's basic. So there's plenty of height. Not much to jump in. But you can walk in and there's a bit of room on each side to put something down. Now you can have windows later on if you want to, but this is only a staging area. We're not going to be here all the time. We'll be a bit more inland with a bigger base. Where all the better dinos are, the trickier dinos, the more dangerous ones. So here it's just a staging area just to get your character leveled up and just getting the basic weapons, tools and resources you need to go for a wander into the jungle. Right, so here we are. Night. So basically we're going to put a bed down, a campfire, some storage possibly. We're going to do, so there's the bed, a simple bed. I'll do that now because I'll need it later. A mortar and pestle is a little tool where you can make little substances to help you tame. So you use spoiled meat and narco bait to make narcotics, which are a bit more potent for knocking out dinosaurs or wildlife, and you need them to combine with arrows to make trank arrows to fire from a bow or a crossbow, which are a bit more efficient at knocking out the target animal you want to do. So we'll do that one. That's a narcotic. I'll do that now for later. A storage box is basically what it says. Any things you don't need to carry on, you just stick it on there. They are quite small, those. Not many slots to put them in. Put things in. I think it's about 8. So if you can wait for a wooden cupboard, which I think is there, level 16, you can get 45 slots. But you need to be two blocks high in your building to put those in. So I would have to do another level just to get those in. Excuse me for 1 second. Apologies if you heard anything then. I just had a little fluid intake issue. Had a little bit of a drink and it went down the wrong hole. So I apologise. Did it cause any distress? It did for me, but I don't really matter. Excuse me. Right, so now morning's starting to come back again. You can see the backs is a little bit better. So what we need to do now is, don't need those, so want to do a bed so it can spawn back quickly, but we need a bit more tricky now to get hide, and we need 40 hide to make a bed, and the only way to get hide is to get it from the wildlife. That means killing some dinos. Usually the easiest way to do it, which is a bit long, is to kill dodos, which are quite easy to kill, but none have spawned around here just yet. So if I killed that parasaur, I'll probably get maybe 20, maybe 30 pieces of hide. But if I tried to use a spear, it will just run off, and they are very, very quick, quicker than I would be able to keep up with it. So you have to decide what's the best way to do it. Now, I will go into my engram list to see if I've got a bit more better weapon than a spear. So I ideally want something like a bow, or a bowler. So bowler has been unlocked, so I'll do that. Boomerang is apparently quite good. I've never used it, to be honest. It's only 2, I might try that. A bow has been unlocked. Those are for arrows. So I'll do a stone arrow as well to unlock. Oh no, I've not got a bow yet. So we'll just use those for now. Spyglass can't do yet. Okay. So we'll go into the weapons tab. We'll go to primitive. We want ranged. So we can do a bow already. With what we've got, we are carrying. Something for that. And now I'll stick a bit more of my stats onto melee damage, because that's what we're going to do now. We're going to get some high by killing things. So that's been crafted, and I'll put it in my usual spot, which is there. So I'll just move those into there for now. We don't need these yet. These are seeds for growing the plants instead of having to harvest them, but those are for later on. You can't do that right now. We need to do some arrows. So we're going to back up to ammo. We can make 15 of these. So the bow is in the right D-pad slot. So do that, get it out, equip an arrow, and you want to try and aim for the head. That's where it does more damage. So hold R2, aim up, and completely miss it. There we go, hit. See, they just leg it. So you have to chase it. And come on, you want to die now, don't you? Come on. I want you to hide. So doing this takes up a bit of stamina, so you have to sometimes stop. Come here. Missed it. Missed it. If they die, you can see the blood going. See more blood, you can die. Good shot. And I've now got 2 hours left. He's now trying to leg it into water. Oh, I missed it. Bollocks. Come here. You're trying to escape me now. Oh, I got no arrows. Right, so I need some. Oh, difficult. Where's he gone? He's there. Right, so I need some thatch. I need some flint. I can do some more. I need to find where he's gone now. He's over here somewhere. Hopefully he's not made it into the water. No, it's not in the ocean. So he's here somewhere. Come on, Basil, fire. MeeBee wants to kill ya. Oh, where'd you go? He's properly legged it. So this is what you need to do. You need to make sure you've got enough arrows for when you leg it. Like I only have 15. I thought that'd be enough. I did miss it about 5 times. That's a dodo. These are quite easy to kill. Shot in the head. They are a bit stupid. They run towards you. They run away from you. And we want hide, so the hatch, you get a bit more hide using a hatchet. Don't get many, it's only a dodo. So a few more dodos here. And try and get a headshot. Pick up the arrows. So again, just using dodos can be pedantic. Gives me 40 hide. So from 3 of them, we've only got 15 hide. So you'll basically have to kill 8 dodos. It isn't a lot, but when you get that one top parasaur. See how you use the hatchet on the carcass of the dodo. If I use a pick, I get more meat than hide most of the time. Still can't see that parasaur anywhere. Get a bit more melee damage on me. Make some more MeeBeeGeeBee arrows. It usually takes about one piece of flint, 2 pieces of wood and 2 pieces of fibre, or 2 pieces of thatch, not wood, to make an arrow. So I think I need some flint and some fibre. Getting fibre will be a lot easier when you can make a metal sickle or tamed a dino like a Furzy, as I shortly named it. They're very good at harvesting faction fibre and things like that. So they're a good thing to do eventually. Try as you can see, we'll get. I don't need seeds. That one we can't do anything with. That one we can. Arrows. No idea where that parasaur went. Have to abandon that one. See if there's another somewhere. Got on the beach. Oh, boomerang. I wonder what about boomerang. Weapon was the melee one, I think. What damage does that do? 100%. Okay, let's try and make some of them. So I need fibre and wood. fibre and sand, so this is sand. It's quite heavy, this stuff. As you see, I'm encumbered already. So they're just as heavy as wood, basically. Get some fibre from the plant. See if we can make one. Okay, made one. I'll stick it there because I don't really use them much. I've never used one, so I have no idea how well it's gonna go. Marry on him. So I presume you just, what's that there? That's a trike, a triceratops. These are moody, is the best word. If you try to shoot them, they will charge at you and they will hurt you. So they're very good for taming, because they are tough little things, but you don't particularly want to peel them off. So we'll leave him alone. There's no dodos. I'm going very slow, so I get some of this crap I don't need now. I can move it. Go here. Go down there, need dinos and dodos. No, nothing down here. So sometimes when there's no dinos to do, you might have to go up there. Or I will have to go up there. Maybe some more dodos up the passageway. More fibre as we walk along. Right, so we'll go up here. Have some dodos, maybe a parasaur, maybe a giant turtle thing, a carbonaurus. A lot of dino names I can't pronounce, so I made my own. There's a brontosaurus. They are very, very hard to kill when you're starting out. And they have a lethal tail, swipe at you, and they will chase you quite. Even though they're quite slow, when they're angry they'll quite easily quite kill you. They are quite passive. They are a long time. I don't particularly follow them. There's the one over there. So now we're going back into the jungle. This is where it gets a bit more risky. Sometimes you get a lot more dinos and this gives a raptor. So you have to keep your ears open for noises. Each dino has a certain sound to them. I mean, I'm going towards where there's going to be raptors. Probably not the best idea. There's more high ground so I can see a bit more. Spot something a bit better. There's a parasaur, a trike. See what level he is. If he's a low level, he'll die quicker. 25, yeah, so I won't have to run that much. I just hope he doesn't run that way. I want to try and force him that way. And I'm sorry, I missed it again. Right, he's going that way. For now. No, don't go that way. Missed him. Soon. Oh, you bugger. That's a stego. They're quite nasty when they're pissed off. Come here, I want you to hide. I'm gonna hit the Bronto. And he's dead. That's him, so get the hatch it out and get hide. See, a lot more hide. Oh no, sorry. Right, so if we're going to crafting menu, going to structures, beds. We can now make a simple bed. So we can leg it back to the little beach hut. As you can see, we've come quite a fair distance for that. Looking at a map, we haven't really even made a dent into the map. That's how big it is. I mean, I've played this map a lot, a couple of years, so I knew coming into here was quite relatively safe. Sometimes, like I said, I know where the raptors come from, so I know how far to go in, where not to, at this point of this character's development. But a lot of it is trial and error. Sometimes you'll get killed, sometimes you won't. Sometimes being brave and risky gives you the greatest rewards. Sometimes just being prudent takes a bit longer. So you have to develop your own kind of style, how you want to evolve, and that's what's great about ARK. There's no wrong way to play it, and there's no right way to play it. You play it your way, you learn, you evolve, and that's one of the key aspects of ARK. So we'll put that down in the corner, out of the way. So here now, if we had other bases, we could move anywhere on the map where there's another bed, but you can't take any items, so you have to go naked. But it's a faster way if you've not got a flyer, and you can lay on the bed. So you're technically sleeping, but you don't really sleep in single player. So that's a bed, so if we die, we'll spawn right back here. Right. Inventory. Killing those dinos, we've got a bit of raw meat. You can't eat these. Because not as nourishing. So you have to cook them. But eventually they do spoil. And these are still useful because we can use them to make tranquilizer arrows to knock out dinos for taming. And then you use them with narco berries to make the narcotics. But to do that, you need a mortar and pestle, and they take hide to make. So we unlocked it already. As you can see, we need 15 hide, which we've got, and 65 stone, which we've already got. So we can make that straight away, and that's in the crafting folder, and we haven't got enough stone. So we need to go and get some stone. So the hatcher out. We've got enough now. No. Some more. Still not enough. Anyway. That's broken, so we'll fix that. And now we can do it. So R2 to make it. So normally in the base I put one of these on top of a table, but we don't need to waste time doing that, so we can just put it on the floor. So just out of the way. Make it a bit more organised. Right, so now we can put spawn meat in there. We can put all the meat in there. And then, because we've learned the narcotics, it needs 1 spoiled meat and 5 narco berries. And there we go, there's 1 done. So now you can use them to either keep dinos that have been knocked out asleep for longer, or you can add them to arrows. With arrows to make trank arrows, but you have to learn it, and I don't think I'm at that level. I don't think now. If you can't find it, just search for it. Put in trank. No, it's level 21, so we're not quite there yet. I'm 6 levels off, so I'll just put it back in there to store it. I will make a campfire in here. I'm going to take that and we'll put that campfire down. Put that there. And access the inventory. And you'll need some fuel to cook it. So just put wood in there. You can put thatch in there. Thatch burns quickly. You can put spark powder, which is made in this using flint and stone, and that burns a bit slower and but cooks things a bit quicker. So we'll stick those in there, light the fire, leave it to it. So get a bit of heat at night in there now. We've got a little stove for cooking. Right, so I will set that to wait. Eat some of these berries. Now we've got a bit of meat. So basically, we've done the basics. We've got a bed. We can spawn back to if we die. Got more to personal for crafting, supplies, for taming and other things. We can cook meat if we need to, like that. So if we look at food now, it's starting to go down a bit. Using one cut meat is about 20 points. So I would only need a few, a couple when I'm getting low on food. But they do spoil on you a bit slower than raw meat. I'll just try and get some narco berries. I put it on 2 times harvesting and I don't seem to be getting much, which is a bit weird. But it's probably right, I'm just being a numpty. I'm so used to playing with an experienced character. Right, so we've got some narco. In there, put those in there, put those in there. We'll make some storage boxes, I think. Just to store any excess material we don't actually need right now. those will be the normal wood, thatch, and fibre combination. So I took the flint out of my inventory, and that's what I need now. So I'm going to get that back actually. And probably the stone, thinking about it. There we go. Yep. To learn. What was I doing? Storage box. And it'll be under wood, storage, and do 4. That's enough. Now I can put other things we don't need in there, like seeds we can put in there. The Bible things that we don't particularly want to wander around with in case we die. Keep those arrows because they're quite easy to replace. There we go. Places to put stuff now. We can farm and store it in there if we need to. We'll do a bit more on that so I can move a bit quicker. Yeah, better. Turn that off. Don't need that yet. Put charcoal in there. You mix that with spark powder. You can make gunpowder, which makes you able to make more powerful ammo for more powerful weapons like rifles, shotguns, assault rifles later on in the game. So I'll get some water. This is underwater. So down there now you can see a shark, a megalodon. They're quite aggressive. You get dolphins, octopus, fish, and a really big thing called a mosasaur. But they're quite deep in the oceans. You get jellyfish, electric eels, so a lot of dangers in there. What's that now? hour, I think. Right. So once you've got your basic little house set up, then you have to choose what to do next. For me, personally, I want to go exploring a bit more. Find out is it like a better base to do a more permanent base. Somewhere inland where there's a lot more resources, better dinos, but also it's a lot hard, well, a lot trickier. Difficulty will go up, and because it's such a big map, you really want a flyer to get around on. Now, on single player, you could cheat and do the admin commands and spawn in a pterodon and a saddle, blah blah blah, to make it quicker. But I'm not going to do it. I've done it in the past and I get bored very quickly cheating that way. I'm going to not try and do it for these little episodes of guides. So the next thing to do for me personally is to try and tame a pterodon. And for that I would need a few bowler weapons, which I've learnt in weapons, infiltrated in ranged. These are bowler, and you basically throw these at a pterodon when he's on the ground, and it'll wrap around his legs and keep him grounded, giving me a chance to knock him out with trank arrows, and then I can start to tame one. Now it all depends. When you come into taming, it's a lot more complicated, because you can, depending on how you tame them, it could impact on their tame levels after they've been tamed, how long it would take them, and how much knockout resources you need to knock a certain level out. So like a 150, which is the maximum. I've just seen that parasaur I was shooting before. So if it's a 150, that's the best one to go for, because that's the maximum level of a wild dino. So if you do one perfectly, that level would jump to about 210, 220. So the stats will increase, they'll be a bit more powerful, a lot better. They can fly further, and each dino gets its own XP level up system, so you can get up to about another 50 levels on top of that, so you get to about 270, so you can fly further. But obviously it takes longer to tame those and take more resources because they're a high level, so you have to compromise sometimes. If you have to go for a 150, you need a lot more farming to do now, or if you go for a low level like a 120, like a 25, it'll take shorter time to do it, but you would have to do a lot more rest stops when you're flying, because he'd last about a minute in the air, so you would have to keep landing finding somewhere safe to land to get his stamina back up and take off, go a little bit more, then land again. So it's a bit of give and take of what you want to do. So starting off, anything around 100, level 100 is probably the best thing to go for a moderate average tame. But for now, that will be like a next episode 1. So I'm gonna stop recording this now. I'll do a bit of farming, which is quite pedantic and not very interesting. So I'll get set up for doing a tame for the next one. So hopefully doing this little basic one, little 3x1 hut, and how to kill a few easy dinos is a quick, well not quick, but a easy introduction into ARK. It's a wonderful game to play. You can play it with friends online, into a tribe, which is a lot easier. You can do things a lot quicker because there's more of you doing it. But you can, again, you can do it solo, which I tend to do because I've got no friends. So it's a really good game to get into. Select it again. I'm having this one before I go. Stay still. I hate these things. Normally, anything like this that legs it, or it's hard to. You can't buy them in water. That's the problem. That's why you don't want them to go in the water. And I've lost him again. Yes, oh shit. Only a crossbow you can fire when in water. A normal bow you can't. If I can in the water, well, I can do that. I can't. Underwater. Oh, there he is. So he's legged it all the way over there. Near my hut. I'm mothered him. He's escaped me twice now. I'll get some arrows. Just whacked him with the torch. Burn him to death. That little bugger gone again. Not down there. No bit. Man legged it into the jungle. Set him on fire. Come here, come shite. Yeah. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, yes. Joking. Come here, baby. Careful when you go up a cliff. You'll get damage. That's it, get stuck. Get stuck on a tree, go on. Burn, baby. Haven't you? I am. So you have to anticipate where he's going to go next. Time to burn. Time to burn. Die by now. Got ya. Pain in the ass. Right, a bit more hide for later. Right, let's get some more. I'll do. I have to do a lot of farming now if I want to do a quick time. So I will say goodbye for now, and I will do some farming, get some narco and trank arrows for the next really vital step, and tame a pterodon, which is those little flying reptiles, and I'll probably need a saddle, so they take a bit of resourcing to get.